Assalamualaikum and hello everyone. We are from Group 5, which consists of 4 members, which are me, Hafiz, Shafiq, Afan, and Haikal. Today, we will be presenting our last experiment, which is experiment 7, regarding Torricelli theorem, which is an open-ended experiment. So, our presentation consists of 6 parts, which are report summary, theory, experimental procedures, raw data analysis, results and discussions, and conclusions. I will start off the presentation with the report summary. This experiment is to examine the Torricelli's relationship. It will be achieved by taking the reading of maximum distance of the water and the time taken for the water to drain out. The velocity of water can be calculated by using Torricelli's theorem. The objective of this experiment is to verify the Torricelli relationship by comparing measured and theoretical value of the velocity. This theorem relates the velocity and non-viscous fluid flowing under the force of gravity. This law illustrates the significant relationship between fluid exit velocity and the height of the fluid in the container. The relationship between Torricelli's theorem and Bernoulli's principle results from the exchange of potential energy at the top of the container to the kinetic energy at the orifice. The next part is theory. Torricelli's theorem is a statement where the speed v of a liquid flowing under the force of gravity out of an opening in a tank is proportional jointly to the square root of the vertical distance h between the liquid surface and the center of the opening, and to the square root of the twice acceleration, which is caused by gravity. The formula is V is equals to square root 2 GH. So for the Torricelli's law derivation, we assume that the fluid is compressible. Bernoulli's principle states that V2 over 2 plus GH plus pressure over rho, which is density, is equals to constant, where V is the speed of liquid, G gravitational acceleration, H the height of the liquid over reference point, and the rho is the density. So we're looking at the derivation, P1 plus half rho V1 squared plus rho GH1 is equals to P2 plus half rho V2 squared plus rho GH2. We can calculate the velocity, the exit velocity, which is V2 squared is equal to 2G H1 minus H2 plus 2 P1 minus P2 over rho. H1 minus H2 is equal to the height of the liquid surface over the opening. P1 and P2 are typically at atmospheric pressure, so we can assume P1 is equals to P2, where P2 is equals to 0. From the formula, V2 is equals to GH, so we can calculate the V, the velocity, is equals to square root 2 GH. So I will pass the presentation to the next presenter.
There are 6 steps or 6 methods for this experiment, and the first one is the apparatus was set up as shown with 3 different of height, which 36.65 centimeter, 56.15 centimeter, and 76.15 centimeter by measuring height from the floor to opening. And the second is the cylinder of the tank was filled with water until it reached a desired volume, which is 2 liter. And step number 3 is the opening at the tank was covered with plasticine of finger or anything else while pouring with water. And 4 is the finger or plasticine was removed from the opening start of the experiment. And step number 5, the maximum distance of trajectory was marked with a marker or line, and time was recorded simultaneously. And step feet if step 1 until step 5 was repeated with different values of height and water, which 1.75 liter, 50 liter, 1.5 liter actually, 1.25 liter, and 1.0 liter. Okay, that's all for procedure and data analysis. Until next, I will pass to next presenter. Thank you.
So I'm going to present about raw data analysis. So for table 1 is actually for when the results obtained from height from floor to orifice is 36.65 centimeters, which is we can see from the table in the presentation, which is 2 liters. We would get the average initial water level of 0.76, and the maximum trajectory would be 0.9 cm, and the time taken for water to drain out is actually 10.09 average. The Q would be 1.98 exponent negative 4, and the velocity of water would be 0.0775, followed by 1.75, average is 0.67, the trajectory would be 1.05, an average of time taken would be 9.39 seconds, 1.86 exponent 4 water flow rate of water, and velocity of 0.069, 1.5 would be 0.57, and 1.09 is trajectory, and time taken would be 9.42. Water flow will be 1.58 exponent 4, and velocity of water is 0.060, followed by 1 to 5, average is 0.47, trajectory is 1.14, time taken is 8.04 seconds, Q would be 1.58 exponent 4, and velocity of water is 0.058, and as it follows. So next slide. So this is table 2. For the results obtained for height from floor to orifice is actually 56.45 centimeters. So we actually take the value for initial water and trajectory is actually quite the same, as you can see from the table. So I'm not going to explain that, but it does have a difference in water flow rate, which is the Q. So 1.92 is 104 to 1.53. As you can see, the volume of water decreases. As it decreases to 1.0, the water flow rate actually decreases also, followed by the velocity of water. So next slide for table 3, which is the height would be 76.50 centimeters. So from here we can also see, so that's the value of the table. So next slide also. So I'm going to explain about the results and discussions now. So first, the first discussions that we need to answer is explain your selection on dependent, independent, and constant variables. So the dependent variables is actually the maximum water trajectory distance and the time taken for water to drain out, which is labeled T. The independent variable is initial water level H. The constant variable is actually the density of water. So the variables were chosen respectively so that the experiment's objective can be fulfilled, which is to verify Torricelli's relationship by making a comparison between measured and theoretical value. There will be two parts for this actually, which first being the effect of initial water on the water velocity, and the second one being the effect of height from floor to orifice on the speed of water. The dependent variables, for us to actually find the measured velocity, we actually need to know how the height of orifice from floor, which is labeled Y, affects the maximum water trajectory distance, which is X, and the time taken for water to drain out, T, thus calculating the velocity of fluid. The independent variable is actually in order to verify Torricelli's relationship, Observation on the speed of fluid flowing from an orifice to the height of water above the opening needs to be observed. And constant variable would be the density of liquid, which is used to give a constant gravitational force for both theoretical and experimental equations. So below it is actually the theoretical velocity and measured velocity, which was explained by Hafiz in theory. So next slide. So now I'm going to clarify on how I can relate the Bernoulli equation with Torricelli's law for this case. So Torricelli's laws actually can be obtained from Bernoulli's principle, and it also relates the velocity of fluid leaving an orifice in a fluid-filled container to the height of the fluid above the orifice by equating the potential energy in the static head of fluid to the kinetic energy of the water leaving through the orifice as follows. So this is actually explained by Hafiz in theory, which is P1 over Pg plus velocity 1 squared over 2g plus elevation 1 equals to pressure 2 over rho g plus v velocity 2 over 2g plus elevation 2. So from here we can actually say that P1 and P2, which is the pressure, is actually 0 due to it being atmospheric pressure, while V1 is assumed to be 0 since the movement of fluid is actually so small, and we can actually assume it to be 0. About the elevation Z2 is actually 0 due to we assume it as datum. So as we substitute the value in, we can actually get Z1 or elevation 1 is equals to velocity 2 over 2g, which then from there we can actually get velocity 2 is equals to square root 2g elevation 1, which is actually Torricelli's law. So next slide. So this is actually the percentage of relative error for the theoretical and measured. So for table 1, where the results obtained for the height from the flow is actually 36.65 centimeters. So as you can see from here, the theoretical velocity for it actually decreases, which we can say, since the value would be velocity theoretical is actually going to be constant, since it's going to be square root 2gh, which is only affected by the initial water level. Since all table 1 until table 3, if I'm not mistaken, the initial water level would be quite the same, so I'm not going to explain any further, but the measured velocity would be different due to it actually we need to use the value y, since the value of y is actually different for each table. So as you can see, the average presented error for table 1, when the height is 36.65 centimeters, we can actually say the average presented error would be 29%. So next slide for table 2. So this is the results obtained from flow to orifice in 56.45 centimeters, which is y. As you can see, the theoretical velocity is almost the same, a little minor difference, but as you can see, the average presented error for flow to orifice is actually 26%. So next slide. And table 3 is the result obtained from when the flow to orifice is actually 76.5 centimeters. Like I said, theoretical is almost the same, measured velocity is quite different, and with this from table 3 actually have the highest percentage error with 46%. So next slide. I'm going to pass to the next presenter to explain about the source of error.
So next, source of error and method to minimize the error. So the first one is the orifice may not point to the correct direction, which is in front. This will cause water to flow in the wrong direction. Next, the hole may not be fully covered by finger before the experiment starts and causes some water to flow around the hole. This error will affect the initial water level and also the velocity of water. Next, leakage occur at the cylinder around the orifice. This will affect the velocity of water during the process. And the last one, parallax error also occur where the eye level is not directly perpendicular to the scale reading when taking the readings. This can affect the accuracy of the data obtained. Next slide. So the method to minimize. First, repeat the experiment a few times to get more than one measurement for each reading and the average is calculated. Second, make sure there is no leakage present. by doing some modification and cover it before starting the experiment. Third, make sure that the level of the eye is perpendicular to the scale when taking reading to avoid parallax error. And the last one, place the tube at the end of the cliff so that we can get more accurate reading of distance. Next slide. So in conclusions, this experiment was done to examine the Torricelli relationship by manipulating the water height, and the velocity measured would be compared to the theoretical value. However, from our data calculation, it shows that we obtain percentage error of more than 26%, like mentioned by Haikal, for all of three cases, which can be considered as not very accurate. This can be caused by all the errors that we encounter as said before. Therefore, major precautions must be taken so that the accuracy can be fixed to meet the exact requirements. From all of that, the hypothesis is still valid, where the water passage decreases as the water level rises, which then allows the velocity of the water to decrease. So that's all from our group. Thank you.